What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Today, we're going to dip back to what used to be good old Faithful and has had a pretty serious fall from grace several years ago. And of course, we are talking about the lovely weapon manufacturer. The weapon manufacturer was so busted OP back in the day that it got a well-deserved slapdown. Now, I still got my OG relic here, Tenacity, Stunning Revelation, and Water Servo. Water Servo, I don't need on there. Stunning Revelation is kind of arguable whether or not that's even worth using. It's a 2-second stun, so it's not terrible, but the diminishing returns do stack up on it very, very quickly. We're going to put this one to the test, though, as this is the OG relic. Lots of folks will remember this one. We are going to check it out here on Chaos 10 Unholy Catacombs. Now, I thought about doing a spawn camp, but I just couldn't get enough, there's just not enough DU available to fully buff these bad boys. So we are going to do a little bit of a turtle. So let's start things off with the lovely Boostar down there. And then, let's see, we want to do all our weapon mans right here where we can very easily boost them up. In fact, I think we're going to have some leftover DU. I'm not even sure exactly what I want to do with it. What if we went something like that? Then we'll go we'll go something like this, maybe. Now, I got Tenacity on here for the cyborgs, but I didn't bother with putting on an overcap defense rate, as I just felt like it was kind of unnecessary. Let's see. I want to try to get a fourth one in. Let's see. If we got a fourth one, we could do something like this, maybe. Go something like that, and then we'll get a big boy on here that's covering all of the things. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. We got 4 weapon manufacturer nodes on each lane. Now, of course, we need to give these guys some protection, or give our core some protection. So let's go with a werewolf commander on each lane, just right at the stretch of our Boostar there. We're going to need to give those guys some reflect beams as well. Let's get those in there. Now, one of the major downsides about the weapon manufacturer is you can't upgrade it. Not being able to upgrade it, of course, is just making it so it gets quickly outclassed by literally any defense that you can upgrade. However, thematically, it's super cool. It's one of my favorite defenses in the game. I would love to use them more often. However, it's just not necessarily the best thing to use now in 2024. Let's see. We need to destruct a pylon on these bad boys. If we go with it right there, it's a little close. A little close on whether or not it's going to reach this one, but I believe it is. I believe it is. We can, yeah, it's reaching it. You can see the little purple glow there. So then we got 50 left. We want to give them the full glory, so let's give them a buff beam. And then there we go. 10 DU left over. Nothing to upgrade except the werewolves. So let's just slap some ups into our lovely doggos and see how it goes here. Now, flyers are going to fly in a little uncomfortably close, which is no good. So we are going to want to keep an eye out for those. Let's see. What kind of range? We got 1,300 range on it. Now, I'm not going with any range at all on these bad boys. So I've got the Tenacity, Stunning Revelation, and Water Servo. Like I said, arguably, you wouldn't probably even use Stunning Revelation anymore, particularly if you're going to use it to apply an element. Like, A weapon manufacturer, of course, is an AoE defense that is unattuned to any element. So with that in mind, if you want to poison a lane, that's going to blanket coverage the whole lane. You could throw a poison servo on here. In this case, we're drenching for no real apparent reason. And then we've got the Stunning Revelation, which is giving us our a little bit of CC in the mix there. Now with that, I'm using mass destruction, and defense rate. Of course, we don't have a defense rate mod, so we have to use the shard. It's arguable whether or not you stack destruction or you go with like a vicious strikes or something along those lines. In fact, let's just check it out for comparison through 2 waves. Let's get the first wave going. This is with the full stacks, mass destruction and double destruction. Now, the question I ask is this build going to work? Well, yeah, of course it's going to work. It's walls plus anything else, right? But the question is the werewolf going to just cover it? Is it going to be a werewolf carry? Or are the weapon mans going to actually contribute in a decent factor? Well, we can check it all out, take a look at the damage done numbers, and see how it goes. Now, I didn't overcap the rate because although there is Frost Orcs in Chaos 10, there's not an enormous amount of them all at the same time. So the Frost Orcs hopefully won't be an issue. Obviously, if I overcap the rate, that would completely, just nullify their little AoE freezy freeze. You see they're coming up like 2, 3, there's 4 in that group. But the front one is just about dead before the others even get up to it. So it's definitely going to slow things up, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world not overcapping. Let's see here. We're getting a nice build up here, but our werewolf commander is holding strong. So we'll let that guy do his business. And like I said, you got to kind of ask yourself, is this a werewolf carry or are these weapon manufacturers actually contributing? Now, we got more Frost Orcs here than I thought we were going to get. I thought they were going to burn out quicker than this. So it's making me rethink the overcap of the rate as well. But, we got through it. There's another Frost Orc pushing up. However, we did get through them all. So I think we're probably okay there. Still 150 mobs left. This being a super turtle is not going to be a real quick running map, and then particularly with the enemies dying relatively slow once they do get up top here. So this will be a little bit of a creeper, but we'll be able to go through and check out a few different configurations. And in fact, in one wave, I was thinking about putting a full DPS relic on it. I would lose tenacity then, of course. I don't have a full tenacity DPS relic set up, as I just don't really use tenacity that much anymore. Like the good old days. The Super Zerkers are just getting melted. I mean, the Weapon Man's doing good against them. I think the damage done is going to still be more than anything else, but just because it is an AoE defense, it's blanketing the entire lane, I just can't imagine anything else on the lane doing more damage than it. Certainly not the Werewolf Commander, and then the Frost Strikes, that's single target, of course, so we're not going to get a whole lot out of it. And just about there. So let's take a look and see what these bad boys did. 710 million damage dealt. 376 on the little one in the middle. 734. And yeah, that one's 376. And then we've got 658. So they averaged close to 700 million damage done, each set of them. So not too terrible there. Now let's take a look. What if we got rid of destruction and we went with, say, maybe a vicious strikes? Let's see. I'm pretty sure vicious has better scaling. Let me check it though. let's see, with deadly strikes, we'll give it a minute to update here. It's at 1979 attack range. And then with vicious instead, 1890. Yeah, actually, deadly strikes is better. Deadly is indeed better. So let's go ahead and go with we'll go with the deadly instead of the vicious. Get a little bit more range. I'm just wondering, is that even worth it though? It's arguable. I mean, it is a lot more range. They're getting way out here now. So yeah. Okay, let's just remember we're, you know, roughly right at about 700 million damage done. Let's see what they do in wave 2. See if they do a little bit more damage than that. Now we can, of course, jack our doggos through the roof. Let's do that and then let it fly here for the next wave. I'm very curious. I do wish I had a tenacity, say a tenacity defense rate and maybe... I almost said controller, but we would take shocking revelations off. But if I had a tenacity defense rate and some anti-melee probably would be the best one. I would like to try that out, but I don't have that relic put together. And I'm not going to put it together just for this. Now, you look at the range. Oh, yeah. Range is getting all sorts out there. Now, this means... the Frost Orcs are going to be a whole lot squishier before they make it in. So I think the Frost Orcs are going to be much, much less of a factor this time around. As they're going to start taking damage way, way out before they're even affecting the weapon manufacturer. We got a captain marching his happy little buttocks right on up here. Let's see what's going on with Captain. He, of course, is getting stunned up, but the DR is kicking in real quick. Diminishing returns for the loss here. The captain was actually almost burned down. He was past the halfway mark before he made it to the wall. That's pretty good. I've got a feeling we may end up having considerably more damage done on this wave 2 here. You know what? I do have tenacity. I think it's defense rate and Gobu Boom. It may even be defense range and Gobu Boom. Tenacity, defense range, Gobu Boom. I think I've got one of those set up as kind of a meme relic. I mean, it's getting through them. It actually seems like there's way less pressure on this round with the extra range. So I'm thinking range for the win, maybe? Now, the dogs didn't do very much damage, so we probably won't see a huge variance in damage done, because the dogs are just not, they're not doing enough damage where, you know, where it's a considerable amount of what's going on in the lane. There's our first real little build-up there with a chieftain at the wall. We got a Super Zerker up here as well. The Super Zerker just kind of died pretty quick. Now, one of the other benefits we get here is, it's hard to see, but I think on those closest weapon man nodes, we might be getting a tiny bit of overlap onto other walls. It's hard to really see it with everything going off here, but it looks like we might be using that additional range on there. Oh yeah, we are getting it. Now, I gotta say, Wave 2, there was way less build-ups. You know, it comes down to the age-old question of range versus power. Do you want to hit an enemy once for, say, 1.5 million? Or do you want to hit it twice for, say, 1 million? Well, of course, as far as damage done goes, you're going to get even more. Okay, we actually did over 1 billion damage. So we did take away from the wall a little bit. The doggo didn't get near as much action in. You see our reflex are doing nothing. Our frost strike aura is doing not very much. Let's see this side. Okay, this side didn't do quite as much, but it's near 1 billion damage. I think it probably would have been about the same. I don't think there's enough being taken away from other sources of damage on the map to really make a huge difference there. But it did feel like the lane went way smoother using the range. That is for sure. Now let's go ahead and jump on forward. We'll stick with this range. Let's jump on forward to wave number 5 and see what this map looks like on the final wave. All right, and here we go into wave number 5. Now, one thing is for certain. When you take a turtle build with long lanes and you add in a low DPS defense to do the killing, and you've got some god-awful map runtimes. There's just no doubt about it. This one has just been creeping. Now, on a positive note, I do think that this is fully AFK except for Dragon Lords and Siege Rollers. It's just covering it, and it comes around to the power of the wolf. Doggo is strong, damn near unkillable. They could have give it a tower skin. It makes it look like a barbarian, right? It's about to that state. The dogs are really powerful. But let's watch it out here for the final wave. Now, I left the range on there. After thinking about it for a couple of waves, I do think the best thing to do if you wanted to use weapon manufacturers is to get rid of Stunning Revelation and get rid of the element. You know, obviously this Stunning Revelation used to be electric or lightning damage. If you could add a water servo to it, and then that in turn gave it the electrocute combo by itself. The damage output of the defense is too bad to use it for a main DPS defense and still try to get crowd control out of it at the same time. It's just it's just low. It's low damage output. You can't upgrade it. It's kind of a deal breaker to an extent. Can you use it? Well, yeah, of course you can use it. You can use walls plus anything else in Chaos 10, and the weapon manufacturer is no different, but definitely not the powerhouse of what it used to be. Now, if you did want to stick with Stunning Revelations, Stunning Revelations, of course, is a mod that just has a very robust history through Dungeon Defenders 2. So if you wanted to use Stunning Revelations, I would probably go with Tenacity, Stunning Revelations, and then an anti-mod, or maybe go Tenacity, Stunning Revelations, and Defense Range. And then that would free up a mod slot for you for that Mass Destruction double stack and still get some decent range out of the deal. Now, if you're using it with, range pylon and diffusion on your buff beams, you're going to be getting a little bit of range out of it. But the range scalars are relatively low, so you don't get a whole lot of value out of it, even though you are getting some range. So I feel like range is definitely a huge benefit for adding on, whether it be through a shard or through a mod. Of course, using Tenacity, it eats a shard slot or a mod slot, which, you know, it is definitely required anywhere where there's going to be cyborgs in. So that means you got to use, in most cases, you're just going to have to use Defense Rage as a shard. But yeah, if you went Stunning Revelations, Tenacity, and then either Range or Rate, you know, you could go one of the two on there, or an anti-mod if you wanted to go more of a power route. If you wanted to use it for damage, and you didn't want to use it for some form of utility, first off, come on, really? It's just not a big damaging defense. But if you wanted to, then I would probably go Tenacity, Defense Rate, and an anti-mod, and just go with those. That would give you a mass destruction double stack. Or if you were content with the smaller range, you could even triple stack it with like vamp or power transfer or something else, just to add a little bit more pizzazz into the entire operation here. But it's usable. Such a bummer, man, because this is like the ultimate EV defense, in my opinion. It just, when you think EV, I personally think Weapon Mans. That's just the first thing that pops into my head. Proton beams obviously are pretty damn beast and very, very, very useful. But yeah, the first thing that pops into my head is definitely those weapon manufacturers. Let's go ahead and burn this Malthus out here and get this map done with. We got Slakeli on here. I do love me some Weapon Mans, y'all. I just wish you could upgrade them. If you could upgrade them, it would be an entirely different deal. But just super expensive. You've got to put multiple nodes down to get any real value out of them. And you can't upgrade them. So a few big bummers with the Weapon Man, although it is just cooler than hell. But that will do it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.